Look at this, I get to come a whole lot closer to you this year. I love it. So good evening, welcome to our annual holiday concert. We're so glad you're here to join us for this special performance. We've got some really cool things in store for you tonight, so we hope you enjoy it. It's our second to last holiday concert in this building, which is really cool. As you noticed when you came in, the steel beam that's out in the lobby, folks in town, anybody's welcome to sign it if you'd like to. Tomorrow at 2:30, that beam is going up into the new building, and it's the final piece of structural steel to go in the new high school. One of the really cool things about that is that steel beam is being placed in our music rehearsal room. So I think it's pretty cool that tonight's the last chance to sign with all these kids and all the work that they do, and it's going to go up in our rehearsal room. So that thing's taking place at 2:30 tomorrow out back. It'll start in the cafeteria, then we'll go watch them put it up, and that'll be a really nice moment. So hope you can sign it while you're out there. Not while we're singing and playing, but afterwards, if you'd like to, we'd love to have you sign that. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce the Sachem Singers, and the director of the Sachem Singers is Mr. Patrick Converse.
Ding, Good evening. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Those two pieces to start us off for the evening, we had the piece Annie Laurie, which is a traditional Scottish tune. Also, the audition song for this year's Semsbo, which we always love incorporating as much as the regional audition-based music festivals that we always have. We always incorporating those every year. Our second piece, as you could probably tell by the lyrics, was entitled Ding-a-Ding-a-Ding. And it's the second year in a row I had someone ask me, do you not like having songs that are just, normal words? Well, here we are. It is at this time, though, what I'm actually going to have do is have Sachem singers leave us for the moment, but they'll be back. And stepping forward, we're actually going to be having concert choir deliver the rest of their songs for the evening right after us. So, Sachem singers, don't go far. And as we're making that shuffle for now, I will begin to introduce our next piece. It is another traditional piece from Europe, this one being a traditional English carol. But I'll be perfectly honest, I had never heard it before until a couple months ago when I was looking for repertoire. But this next piece, as you'll see, is entitled Luli Lule Lula. as I grab this to stall for more time, I would like to give a special recognition as she runs off the stage to grab a chair because she's doing as she's supposed to do. I'd like to give recognition to our soloist for the end of that piece, Ms. Meg Dowler.
And we would like to give this little Christmas present to you as a thank you.
Do I have to open it in front of everyone like last year?
Yes.
If there's a bunch of faces of me again like last year, I'm going to be a little upset. I'm good. Oh, they know me so well. Oh, there's a coffee gift card? Like I said, they know me so well. So, I think places are ready. Quick introduction. How many of us in the house tonight are fans of pentatonics? Well, this piece was brought to me as a suggestion back in, I think it was June, huh? Yeah, so we've been working on this for a while, but naturally they found it on YouTube and said, we want to do that. So they put in a lot of hard work, especially members of mine that are not actually enrolled in class this year. But for that being said, I'm going to get out of the way. It would take way too much time to explain that joke. Well, that was something. So it is at this time, as it is every year, that I would first like to welcome back Sachem Singers. Hopefully they did not go too far. But it's okay if they take their time getting here, because there are some other people in the house this evening that could also potentially take their time getting down here, but hopefully not too much time. It is at this time that I would like to continue the annual tradition of Middleborough High School and invite any and all alumni that happen to be in the audience this evening to join us as we sing Carol of the Bells. Ooh, we got a few. Don't be shy, everyone's doing it. All right. That concludes tonight's vocal contribution for this evening's concert. Or is it? You might have to stick around to find out later. But thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening with Mr. Justin Pitsley and the MHS String Orchestra upcoming next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our first piece by Brahms Allegro Giocoso. If you have an orchestra student, you may have heard a lot of complaining about the homework assignment that they did with this particular piece. If you didn't, ask them about it. They will give you an earful. But we hope you enjoyed our first piece this evening. We want to thank you again for being here this evening. This is the MHS String Orchestra. And while you came in this evening, you actually heard another group performing, the MHS Chamber Strings, which is a brand new group this year that's performing. They've performed, I think, 4 times in the last week now, including today, and they'll be playing tomorrow afternoon at the ceremony, and they're doing a concert at the MEC next week for the kindergarten pre-K kids. So they've been very active, and they are just a tremendous group. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas caroling out front. Could I just have the chamber strings stand real quick? Let's hear it for the chamber strings. Our next selection this evening is called Blue Rhythmico, and it's a jazzy blues type piece, and we hope you enjoy it. While I get set for our next piece, it's a good opportunity to tell you about our Pops concert coming up in March. And this year's Pops concert is the last one in this building. So that's going to be a special night. It's actually going to happen here in the auditorium this year instead of the gym on March 13th. And the theme for the night is the Sachem Choice Awards. And so we've selected categories of different types of music, and it's going to be like an award show, like the Oscars. We're going to walk the red carpet and the whole deal. So we hope you'll check that event out. That'll be a lot of fun. We also have a fantastic event coming up in January, and I've seen some of the rehearsals already, and they're fabulous. We have Shrek the Musical coming to Middleborough High School. So we hope you'll check that out, January 10, 11, and 12, right here in this room. And it's going to be just a great show. Get your tickets early, and we hope to see many of you there. Our next selection this evening is the Irving Berlin classic White Christmas. pedal doesn't work. That's a problem. Tell my wife I can repair stuff. Let's hear it for Sarah Gibson on the piano. Our final selection from the orchestra this evening is a piece that we really love to play called Heart of Fire. I just want to tell you a little bit about the piece from the words of the composer herself. We've all heard of exemplary people who seem almost superhuman in not only their passion for a particular purpose, but also their perseverance in accomplishing their goal, a cause they feel so strongly about that they will let no obstacle stand in their way. Our history is filled with many inspiring examples. Martin Luther King, who sacrificed his life for the cause of racial equality. Nelson Mandela, who despite his years of unjust incarceration, went on to spread his message of peace and tolerance to the world. Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and other women who campaigned for women's equality and the right to vote. This piece is a tribute to those fiery hearts who have left a legacy of a better life for us today. This is Heart of Fire, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's hear it one more time for the MHS String Orchestra. So we have another brief set change here to get the band out, so we'll be right back with you with the MHS Concert Band. So I guess I deserved that. If your children have come home telling you I've been very mean to them lately, they're absolutely right. So it's fine. Michelle cried today. The band is a challenging program, and we've had a really busy couple weeks getting ready for tonight. So they were ready to throw stuff at me, and they got their chance. So let's hear it for the band. So each year in the music department, we travel to a destination, New York, Washington, D.C. This year we're going to Montreal and Quebec City, and then one other trip that kind of rotates around. Last time in that slot, we went to Nashville. This past year, last April, we went to Washington, D.C., and we had the chance to visit the brand new Smithsonian, the African American History Museum, which is absolutely fantastic. Just really, really well done. And to see our students interacting with that history that was there and the lessons that we can learn from what was there was fantastic. And it's something that living in Middleborough, we are not exposed to as much at times, and so it was a great learning experience for them. And so when I was preparing for this year's program, I came across a piece called The Nine, which we're going to perform for you next. And in your program, on the green piece of paper are the program notes. I hope you've had a chance to read some of those. This is based on the Little Rock Nine, who were the folks who went to school in Little Rock, Arkansas, under protection from the National Guard, and the whole story that happened there, and the integration of schools after the Brown versus Board of Education decision. And the composer was commissioned to write a piece to commemorate that in Little Rock for the 60th anniversary of that event. And so this is the piece that came out of it. And it's a really, really cool piece of music. It's very different than what you might expect, but it starts with an African American spiritual that was written by the composer. And if you really, really want to do a deep dive in this, just go to YouTube and type in the name of this piece, and he'll tell you all about it, the composer. And so he tells us a lot about it. It starts with a spiritual, and then it builds up as the civil rights movement starts to build. And then in the middle of the piece, you're going to hear all kinds of chaos breaking loose. And this is when the civil rights movement really exploded. It became very aggressive, and there were lots of clashes throughout the country. And not too different than what's been happening in the past several years, maybe not to the same extreme as then, but certainly lessons for us to learn. And as the piece gets towards the end, you hear their voices start to converge and come back to that spiritual as a lot of progress has been made in the civil rights movement. And then right at the end, as all those voices converge, you're going to hear some notes that sound wrong, like they don't belong. And the intent of that at the end is to ask questions. What have we learned? Where have we come? What work do we still have left to do? And we're still not perfect with it, and there's still a long way to go. So it's a really meaningful piece of music. The students have really taken to it well. This evening we'll be featuring a soloist singing with the band, Miss Cami Morano, and she'll be singing along with our performance this evening. So we hope that you enjoy The Nine, and would you please welcome Miss Cami Morano. Thank you very much. So at this time, we're going to try to get 125 people onto the stage. So just bear with us for a moment. If you have raffle tickets, now is the time. So if you want to bust those out and have those ready, we'll be calling those in just a minute. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask our three MHS building administrators who are in the building to come down and help. Musketeers or Stooges? I don't know which. I'll pay for that tomorrow, it's fine, whatever. So just for the record, this will be Mrs. Jameson's last holiday concert with us as an administrator. She'll be retiring at the end of the year. I've been a teacher here for 14 years now, and I've never had an administration more supportive, not only of what we do down here, but of all the needs that we have. Sometimes when we're on the road traveling, we have things that happen, and they're always there to help us through all that. And in particular, Mrs. Jameson, as she retires, I just want to thank all three of you and wish you Merry Christmas. So thank you. See you tonight. So Mr. Brannigan's going to come and draw for the first basket. Don't draw your own name. So we have, that's not a name, that's blank. You would draw the one that's wrong. Brandy Bormeo, come on down. Mr. Brannigan will bring it to you. How's that? Mrs. Jameson, come on down. Don't draw your own name, please. Kira Davenport. Wherever you are, Mrs. Jameson will bring you your basket. Kira, oh, there we go. And Mr. Dizell, come on down. Don't draw the one that says scratch tickets. We know what that is.
Didn't say don't draw your own name, though.
You're right, I didn't.
Wait.
That's unofficial. That's the one right there.
That poor person. Denise Hubbard. Come on down. Thank you. So we have one final special number for you this evening. Last year, as part of our spring concert, we did This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, and you all loved it so much, we thought, well, let's make it even bigger this time. So we have this behind me is the entire MHS music program, all of them. They wanted to wear Christmas apparel, and I said no. And I said, I'll let you wear the Santa hats for the last song. So this is their one chance. We hope you enjoy it. This is called Christmas on Broadway. We want to thank you so much for coming out and supporting our students. These students work incredibly hard all fall, all year long. The band has been in marching performances all fall and then got this ready. And all the groups are doing things just nonstop. So thank you for driving them to where they need to be and for listening to them practice at home, hopefully. I know not all of you do. Tell them to. But I want to thank you for all the support. This program doesn't exist without you and without the support of this community, and that's certainly evident when you look out back and see what's being built back there. Our new Performing Arts Center is absolutely incredible. It's just fantastic, and that's support of this community, so I want to thank you for that. We hope you enjoy this. Have a happy holidays, and be safe going out of here. The temperature's dropped, and it's pretty slick, so be careful, and remember, everything is one way around the building. Mr. Dizell will be out there chasing you if you go the wrong way, right? Counterclockwise around the building. Thank you very, very much. Have a very happy holidays, and we will see you at Shrek the Musical on January 10, 11, and 12. Good night.